Welcome to the Bigfooty Eagles RDP Episode 9, How I Met Barney Stinson. We'll discuss flying high at Etihad, possibility of finals, the rise and fall of Vossi, how to boo a Scott brother, and we stalk a new user in the random discussion thread. I am QS, and with me I have Keys.
Good evening, geeks. Nice to be back after a week off.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, and sorry that you had to have the week off that you did. Hope everything's all right now.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, fellas.
And pantskyle.
Happy to be here again for another top night. Should be good. Welcome back, Keys.
That's setting your sights a bit high there, aren't you, Pants?
What do you mean?
Top night. I mean,
Say that again.
How do you know it's going to be a top night?
I don't think it can get any worse.
Well, that's fairly pessimistic, isn't it?
Actually, it might actually only be downhill from here because it's been pretty bloody good already.
You've just gone from the highest of the high to the lowest of the low. You've got a bipolar podcaster.
It's well, it's not pantskyle tonight.
Okay. All right. What is it? Pantskyle.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pantskyle.
Right.
Move on.
Get stuck into it. And get stuck into it we shall, because we flogged Essendon, I thought. And I'm not going to do you the justice of playing what I said back last week that we'd win. And I wasn't on the fence, unlike somebody else that was on the podcast. So I'll just leave it at that, considering I conceded I was wrong. But I think it went pretty well in the second half. Anyway, is that fair to say, Keys?
Yeah, I didn't get to see all of the game. I got to watch the first quarter and then probably the last 10 minutes. And when I turned it on in the last quarter, I fully expected to see us down, and was pleasantly surprised to see the scoreline and us run the game out well for a change. Particularly the old enemy Essendon. So, seen some of the highlights since, and it was good to have a win against those guys. And we must have played well for certainly the second half. Looked like we really did clean them up, although they weren't at their best by a long shot. They really seemed to have this drug thing sort of got into their head a bit, and they dropped their shoulders. They dropped their heads pretty quickly, from what I could see. Yeah,
I mean, I think that even that being said, you can only sort of play the side that's out there on the day. And to be honest, I thought the intensity was fantastic. The tackling pressure was great. The ball movement was great. I mean, in the first half, the skills was pretty ordinary, and that just seemed to sort of spin around after half time. And I think, I did notice that the tackling pressure in the midfield and the forward line especially, is that something you picked up on, Cole?
Oh, in the second half, definitely. That was some sort of performance. I thought that blew me away. Absolutely blew me away, that game.
Did you just blow into the microphone too to add effect to that blown away statement?
No, it wasn't. I didn't blow into the microphone, but
good qualifier.
No, look, I mean, I was really impressed. I thought after half time into probably the first half of the third quarter, I actually thought we were in pretty much in some strife, and I thought Essendon was a team that's going to run away with it, and I was super excited with the way we played it towards the end of that game. That was beautiful.
Hey, speaking of running away with it, I was just got Fox Footy on in the background, and I've got it on mute, obviously, because I'm invested in this podcast. But they had Dyson Heppel on the screen, and all I could think of while I was watching him is "you snail." So saying running away with it, that's exactly what young Jamie Cripps did. He absolutely
my boy
took him on and blew him away. That was really good to watch, I thought. I didn't know he had that kind of speed. I knew he was quick.
I did, my boy Crippsy.
Yeah, how many boys do you have, mate?
Well, I gave toilet away last week. And no, it's just Crippy now. And there's a reason. Being from Melbourne myself, I have quite a few, and probably 50% of my friends actually in Melbourne are St Kilda supporters, and they were pretty upset losing him. And a lot of them towards the end of last year, when we didn't give them Mitch Brown, they actually we'll get him for free for nothing. You're going to lose out. And I was pretty excited to get Cripps last year, and that was some pace. That was a bullet. Someone fired a gun behind Heppel. That was something special, I thought.
He gave up in the end, didn't he?
What else could he do? He was made to look pretty slow. And I say this, just something else for Crichton, not just as his sponsor, but twice in that match he copped some pretty disgraceful tactics against above his shoulders to his face, and he got up both times. And what else makes you more proud of a player is the fact that they get up and they just keep going at it. What a game for the kid, I reckon.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Probably his best game for the club, certainly. And the other warrior out of the game was Mark Lacroix. It's obviously surfaced that he copped a couple of broken ribs. I thought at the time when I seen him land on it, I thought, I reckon he's either really badly bruised a couple of ribs or he might have cracked a couple here, and that's why he's sort of in the pain that he was. Because when you do that sort of thing, I've done it. I'm falling off a bike, admittedly, but you struggle to walk and get your breath. It's just absolutely painful. So for him to play out the rest of that match, he would have had a jab, I'm sure, but and kick 5 goals playing in the forward line, which I have said on occasions to people that that's where he belongs. And look what happens. You put him there where he's meant to play and he kicks 5 goals. So
yeah, but let's look at the other side of it, though. Plays probably his best game of the year, or his best half of the year, and we lose him for 2 weeks. And he did that whilst having those broken ribs. That's the story of our season, I reckon.
Yeah, it is.
Right,
it's unfortunate. I guess we just had a bad run, especially the last couple of years. Keys, we've had some phenomenal injuries, haven't we?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. This year in particular, it just seems to be, every game we seem to have, 1, 2, sometimes 3 players that cop an injury during the match, and they miss it. We wouldn't have had a game this year where we put the same 22 on the park, and I reckon we've had a week where we haven't had at least one forced change.
No, it's like a revolving door, isn't it? Look, this week it may be Shuey in, Lacroix out, in terms of injured guy just coming in, and then a bloke with a couple of cracked ribs straight out.
Yeah.
So
we've always got someone coming in who's perhaps a little underdone, and to try and get you look at some of the other sides and the way their systems work and things like that, very much reliant on the same guys being there, and they trust each other because each one's doing their job. We haven't had that chance to get the consistency through, whether it's our forwards, the backs, or the mids. There's always someone chopping and changing, so players have got different roles.
That's right, and everyone's got different attributes too, and it takes a while for the players to adjust to that. And I guess towards the end of the season, how do we manage it? Do we just put the younger guys in? We spoke about that before. What makes that even more interesting is the what's unfolded over the week with the Essendon saga. Without going into any detail about what's actually happened with that, I'm sure people are across it. But I guess the thing we want to look at is if there is a loss of points and we manage to sneak up into ninth, it's not beyond the realms of possibility to go above Carlton, as long as if we do manage to steal a win this week against the Cats, which we'll talk about later, then there's another 4 points, 2 games to go. There is a possibility that we could sit ninth by the end of the season now, and if Essendon do lose those points and it puts them out of the 8 and below us, well, pushes us up into the 8, and then all of a sudden we're playing finals. So I guess the question...
Carlton are cooked as well.
Well, they are, and the question that arises out of that for me is, do we take the punt on saying, okay, well, that may well happen, let's get some games into our players and at least have a crack in the final series? Not that we probably look to go too far in it with the way we've been playing. Or the other side of the coin is, do we just forget about it and just act as if, well, no, they're not going to lose any points and let's prepare for next season? So whoever'd like to take that question, go for it.
Yeah, well, sorry, Keith, you go.
I think we just do what we do. I think Worsfold's picking a side to play each week. I don't think he's really looking specifically at next year. I think he's wanting to try and get a look at some of those guys. I think he's genuinely picking the side he thinks is the best for that week. I don't think any reason why we should change that. Just pick the guys you think are going to be able to contribute on the day. If it transpires that Essendon do lose their points and we finish ninth, well, that's maybe a bonus. We've got to win probably 2 of our next 3 as a minimum to get to ninth. So we've got to beat Geelong and then probably Adelaide. So it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I think the Essendon thing, without wanting to go into it too much, I think that's going to end up in the courts. I don't think Essendon are going to cop losing points, so they're going to either challenge it or get an injunction to delay it. So you see it going down that path. And in a funny way, I kind of hope that I hope it's not us that gets in, because it would almost be it'd be a Clayton's finals berth. It'd be one that arguably we didn't deserve. First week of finals we'd probably be playing, we'd be classed as 8, so we're going to be playing 5th or 6th, which would be Richmond or Collingwood over at the MCG.
So that's the analogy of the final series you're having when you're not having a final series, right?
Yeah. I sort of, in some ways, so they'd be a little bit cheap. I just like to go. I'd like to see Carlton make it.
That'd suit North, wouldn't it?
Sorry?
That'd suit North doing a Bradbury, wouldn't it?
Imagine if North come from frickin' nowhere to make the finals, and that's it. And funnily enough, I mean, probably more so than us, if they actually got there, that'd be a chance to do some damage. Depending on how they turn up on the day, they have played some good footy this year.
Probably lose by a point.
Yeah, it'd just be funny to watch.
I'm glad we can see the comedy in it. What's your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Look, I don't think we'll sit back at all. I think if there's a chance to play finals, we'll go all out to play it. I think Carlton are cooked. I think Kangaroos are more dangerous than Carlton. I think, I read in the media during the week that because Kangaroos lost against Adelaide, it means they're gone, but they're only 4 points behind us, so they're not gone at all. We've got Collingwood and Geelong to come, but I think we can beat the Cats this weekend, but we'll talk about that later. I think we can players back at the right time. I mean, apparently Kerr's could be playing this week, and I thought he was out for the season.
Yeah, I thought that too. And that's why I made a bit of a wisecrack about some of the people on Facebook. So I'll take that back, anyone on Facebook.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Natanui comes in this week. I honestly think that we could field a very, very strong side on Saturday night. And I think if we can, I think we should, because, look, regardless of what goes on at Essendon, I'd rather win games than not win games. And I actually don't see how Essendon, they may threaten with injunctions, but, they take your medicine. You've been taking it for a couple of years, take it now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they'd be crazy to extend it, but anyway, that's something for another time, I guess.
Yeah. And I was just going to say that just on a side point as well, Woosha won't coach a side to lose a game of football or to give up on a chance of finals, and I'm probably 90% sure now that he will coach us again next year, and I'm probably 75% sure that I'm not fussed by that now, because I've seen the improvement over the last few weeks, and at the end of the day you can get bloody pissed off with the way the team plays, but I'd like to see how we end this season, and if we keep that intensity, then maybe Woosha should get another 2 years.
Well,
Woosha goes back to, we spoke about this on the other podcast. It's who's out there that's better, and I think the general consensus before was if we could get Roos, that would be a bonus. But he looks like if he's going to coach, he's going to go to Brisbane now. So you've sort of got that thing where you say, we'll give him another 2 years, or we put in someone who's untried, who's no guarantee to do any better. And if he's committed to it, good on him. I'm not unhappy if he continues on, because he seems to have got that bit of spring back in his step. He's got that bit of seems to be spring back in his step a little bit, and oddly enough, the last few weeks he's actually shown a little bit more emotion in the coach's box than I've seen. He does be looking a little bit frustrated sometimes when guys don't do what they're supposed to, whereas before he just kind of sat there like a dead fish and just watched whatever happened. But he has shown he maybe cares, and some of the concerns that we had earlier maybe dissipated a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah. Some personal details in his life, I reckon, may have got resolved to a point where or he got over it or something, because he does. He does. He looks a bit happier, doesn't he?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of on the coaches front, I'll just say 2 words. Poor Vossi.
Disgraceful.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we could all see the writing on the wall with that one. They weren't going too flash. His contract was up. I didn't think he was a big chance to keep it. They obviously want to move forward, and whether it be he just wasn't a good fit with the list. I mean, the guys all respect him, but it's a different proposition than being a good player in a midfield to actually coaching a side where you've got to concentrate on every part of the ground, and it's a bit different. So I think the question now is, I mean, given that prior to his taking the job at Brisbane, he was part of our coaching staff, didn't get off the ground because we let him go over there, which was nice of us, I thought. But do we look at him again? I think there's a thread up there about it. What's your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, and I think he could feel a little bit ripped off because he's the way that the Lions have been playing the last few weeks. They weren't playing shit out, so we're actually winning a couple of games, and there was definitely a platform for next season for that team. I'm actually really surprised he didn't get 2 more years there, and if he wants to come over to Western Australia and be an assistant, then I'm all for it. I'd love him to be coaching our midfield.
My only concern with Vossi as a coach is I think he shares the same or similar strengths and weaknesses to what Worsfold does, in that he seems to be a guy who can get on with the players well and back the players in, motivate them, but I don't know that strategically he's all that strong, which the same as Worsfold. I think if we get another person in the coach's box, I think we want to be looking for someone who's got a good game day mind, because that's what I think we'd still lack in our coach's box, and I'm not sure if Vossi's maybe quite that person. He might be if we decided to say we'll put him in as a replacement for Burns, and then still look for someone else. I think then I wouldn't be against that. And it's interesting because Vossi didn't get a great. He got off to a bad start at Brisbane. He was behind the 8 ball right from the start, in that he hadn't had any experience as an assistant before, so it's gone in cold. And then he had that, the crazy Vossi trade year where he, they got Fev up there and sort of burnt a few things in the process. So that list was probably put a year or 2 behind because they thought they were maybe better than what they were, and they made a few trades that really didn't pay off for them in the finish.
I think my raising of the question as to whether we'd have him over here is more in an assistant coach role, where what he was planning to do prior to Brisbane.
Yeah.
Maybe the 3 years was just a nice warm up to have him over here. He'd been all right as an assistant coach, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have been great.
So
Yeah, I think if he had I think he would have been better off if he had come to us first as an assistant. And I think he would have been. So to get him in now after he's had 5 years as a head coach, he would be a really good backup for Worsfold. And then if you looked at it as a succession plan, he would 5 years as a head coach, 2 or 3 years at the Eagles as an assistant. He would be in a good position then to maybe then step into a head coach role if Bush decided to move on.
And I think certainly he's probably still got ambitions to coach again. I think he wasn't a bad coach.
No, I don't think he was a bad coach by any stretch. I think it's really hard to read how his time at Brisbane, because they had some good patches, but their list wasn't there, and they've had some injury dramas as well this year that makes it hard to make a real assessment of their list.
Yeah, I mean, they Staker. Well, he did 2 knees in a row, didn't he? The poor bugger.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's playing all right, Staker, but he picked up a few decent ones. He got Zorko. Zorko's all right, so he's not done too bad the last couple of years. And I think probably this year, even though they haven't won the amount of games, and it's hard purely to base it on that, I think that they've actually had a better year in terms of what we've seen in the last 6 weeks, I'd say, than what we've seen in the previous 2.5 years.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not been too bad at all, I don't think. But anyway, look, I kind of when that news broke, unlike you, Kyle, I sort of expected it, but I didn't want to see it. I was hoping he'd do all right, because I actually quite like Bossy. He, even though he stuffs up the dream team selections at times, but that's Bossy for you. Look, this week
I was surprised. I thought he would have gone another 2 years.
Okay, yeah, I think the opinions vary. I think just depending on how you see it, but I was having a bit of a look on the Brisbane board and just some of the stuff that they were saying. Obviously, they're a bit closer to their club than what we are, and that was some of the indicators there, what they'd heard, which kind of pointed to the fact that they'd probably make the call and go with someone else. And I think another way they probably looked at it is because of Paul Roos being available and courted, I guess. So,
Yeah.
And that's the Bigfooty Brisbane Lions podcast.
yeah, we've done it well.
Move along.
Yeah, put
Next
on there,
topic,
boy.
please.
Yeah.
This week we've got a bit of a test against the Cats. They come over, minus Tomahawk, who didn't play much last year. He got knocked out fairly early from memory, went up for a hanger, smashed his head on the turf, and that was the end of that. It was also the game where Chris Scott decided that our crowd weren't very nice and he wouldn't take his kids to the game. So,
That's right.
I hope they have got long memories, the guys that go to the game, and they get stuck right into them. That'll be awesome. What do you reckon?
Oh, they will be. They will be raving to that team, without a doubt.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that. So
Yeah, me too.
hopefully the crowd gets stuck into him, and this podcast reminds all the 40,000 members that they have to get out there and give it to them.
I think so, and I think the thing working to our benefit on that is it's another night game. I think the last one was a Friday night game, so people were, getting on the Terps and going out into Subi to watch the match and then probably head out afterwards. And this time it's a Saturday night, so still got the Sunday to recover, so you might have a few people there willing to chuck the booze out, which is not a bad thing.
Tomahawk's not playing, so...
Is he definitely out, is he?
I believe so.
They came out during... I mean,
I know I saw some videos of him playing last week, and
But he's been shit out the last few weeks anyway, so it might have been better than he does play.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. I'd rather he was playing because it looks like he's playing with a steel rod strapped to his spine. He can't bend at all.
He still
I would say Mackenzie would towel him up or even Glass, so
he would.
maybe Brown.
He still creates a bit of, even though he's not playing well and as quite as mobile as what he usually is, he still creates problems with his position work. So perhaps it's not such a bad thing. But I mean, then who I think Pods goes in there.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Why? What's he done to you?
I think he looks like a fucking idiot.
You had to have
Doesn't he just look like one though? Like, he just looks like a dope.
He does.
Looks like a drongo.
I've not minded him.
You said dope then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Good.
No, I didn't say.
No, I was thinking something else, mate.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, we'll leave that one well alone, Eddie Maguire. Now,
yeah.
Selwood versus Selwood, that'd be interesting. Was it the last game? I think it was Adam Selwood that they had a bit of a
Yeah, they had a little wrestle.
Yeah,
was good. Joel gave him a bit of a shove afterwards and
got a free kick
for it.
He got a free kick paid against him for that, didn't he?
That's pretty funny.
I don't think he lose he gets suspended for a match or got.
Oh, he did too.
He got reported.
Choking or something, wasn't it? What did he do?
They bumped each other and Selwood Adam got winded. And
he got winded.
Yeah. Starved as he's run past him.
Because Selwood was on. I think Adam was on the ground or something, and he's brother picked him up or something. Yeah, got done. Yeah, what bullshit that was.
That's hilarious.
Wow, what a passionate game it's going to be on Saturday night. It's going to be off the charts.
And I think because I think Chapman's been playing in the Reggie, so he might be due for a recall. An angry little ant, that guy. So, but Geelong's form last few weeks has been a little up and down.
Yep.
So I don't think probably 6 weeks ago I wouldn't have given us any chance at all. Now I think I don't think we'll win, but we're certainly not without our chances of winning the game.
No, I think you're right there. I think if we can play the type of footy that we played at Etihad and put the pressure on the Cats. Now, the problem with the Cats is they don't like having pressure put on them. So if we can apply that, then use our run and spread like we were using on Sunday, I think it's going to go a long way because we've got the forward power, we've got the defenders to cope with it. It's just the midfield where we get smashed. Now, the midfield on Sunday didn't look like the type of midfield that was going to roll over and get smashed. They actually stood up and played well. And if we get Shuey back and he's actually fit this time, then we've got somebody that can break lines. I mean, we've got that.
Shuey and Kerr back, then we laugh.
Yeah, what's Kerr going to do though?
Be the Cats in the middle.
Does he replace Pritis in there, and Pritis just then hangs around?
No.
Midfield looked substantially better since Bellingham coming.
Oh, yeah. We were discussing this before we started recording me in QS, and I think we've both got man crushes on the guy.
On Wellingham?
Yes.
Yeah. Nah.
I would do him and have his babies.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but I'll let you do him and have his babies. I do think
I'll do him. You watch.
All right, I'll put a lens over the filter then, just to make it look like I'm watching. But he's been a really good pickup, and I'll say it now: pick 18 was not overs. Anyone else think it was overs?
No, I was all for it from then and now and ever for the future.
Yeah.
I think had he had a full season, I think we would be raving about how much he is one of those players that we were looking for to strengthen their midfield, and if he had to put a full season in, we would have another 3 or 4 wins.
He just adds an element of class, doesn't he, with his foot skills, and that goal that he kicked, the nice low stab that just went over the top of the guys in the goal square's head. That was great. It was just an easy goal to kick. Like, it was not too hard and measured it perfectly. And some of the passes inside 50, just straight on the chest. That's things that we're missing. So hopefully some of the other guys can learn off that.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that it's coming down to this round, but the team has gotten so much better over the last few weeks. So it's towards the end of this season and the way we play, but the way I think we're going to play over the next 3 weeks, we're going to look back at some of those earlier games and just think, what if?
Yep. Yeah, especially the Port one.
Yeah.
The Port
So
one.
many.
The Port one really is. If that's the game that's going to, at the end of the season, that's the one that we're going to look back on and go, damn. Because if you reverse that, if we had held on to win that game, we would now be out of the 8 on percentage.
Yep.
Because Port are 2 games clear of us. So that they've got a slightly better percentage than what we have, but we would be outside the 8 on percentage right now had we won, if you reverse that result against Port. And we should never have lost that game.
Not to mention, if we kept that game going, who knows what would happen the following week and the week after.
Yep.
Just, I mean, what ifs? It's very much a season of what ifs. And can I say as well, very, very happy in the game against Essendon that we managed to see 2 ninja flips, and I thought young Jack Darling was pretty fucking good in that game. So I reckon he might have a big one on Saturday night.
It's good to see Jack have a good game against the
Yeah. He's a phenomenal young player.
The omen in that Essendon game was probably there fairly early when Joshua managed to get a goal after the ball bounced off the goal umpire. That was something quite funny to see.
It was a good start though, wasn't it? A 50 and then that one.
Yeah, it was. I was looking at that going, all right, the AFL's obviously paid the umps off to look after us. Free kick in the centre, 50-metre penalty, goal, go down, shot at goal, bounces off the goal umpire, Hill steps it through for a point, and we're 2 goals up inside a minute or so.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
it was good to see. So what's the feelings about this one, guys? I'm gonna kick this off, and I'm gonna tip us to win in a close one. Purely because if I do, I reckon we will win. Seemed to be the case last week, so why not try it again? Kyle?
Well, I'm going to tip against this because most times this year when I've tipped us to win, we've lost.
Okay.
So I'm going to go that we'll lose narrowly.
And what do you reckon this week, Kyle?
I'm not going to sit on the fence this week at all. I actually think we might win. Not might, because that's sort of sitting on the fence again. I think we will win. I'm going to go by 15 points. And the reason I think we're going to win is because I think we're hitting some form, and I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to have some very nice ins this week.
No, that's fair enough. And be very happy if that comes to fruition.
I think I just actually think that we have to win. There's no ifs or buts. After last week, we can't come back and play like shit. So it's at home. Come on, let's do it. Return the wings and shit. We're handing out all the stuff, and everyone that goes to the game should wear wings. It'd be great.
I think so too. And yeah, just mention that. A few guys, Honey Badger, 35, Champ Reevesby, Doughboy, and the Bacon Warrior. All those guys have kindly donated their time to hand out the flyers that we're having printed up, which we have somewhat financed. So if you go into the game and you have managed to listen to this, then watch out for those guys. They will most likely be doing a little bit of a video camera spot with some of the Eagles media guys, which will go on the website just to raise awareness. So well done to those guys. Appreciate you.
Let's remember we won 2 grand finals against this mob wearing those wings, so everyone should wear their wings on Saturday night. I will, at home, with a couple of beers.
You don't drink.
Only spirits.
only.
Only alcohol.
That leads us away from the quote-unquote serious stuff and into the post of the week. I think I've got a bit of a cracker here, guys, so I'm not sure whether you're going to match it. So I'm going to go first, I think.
All right, okay.
I can do that because I'm directing it, so there we go. I'll just dob myself in. So, my post comes from the random discussion thread, which is number MMXCXVIXVL dash, say that again.
Black Ops.
Black Ops. Now, the poster in question is Barney Stinson 1.
Oh, brand new poster.
He is a brand new poster, and he's managed to find his way into the RDT, like a lost little puppy dog. And he's responding to Quinn's, pretty much. Keys as well was in there, but he's part of this podcast, so he's already got enough glory. So we'll say Quinn's. Larking and 5 Strings Alfie is back. Ya, 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 exclamation mark. To which Barney Stinson replies, "No, I'm not. Why in God names would you say that? Now I'm going to get carded."
Wait a second. That's a pretty good post.
It is a pretty good post. I've liked it.
And I actually, if you look next to your own like, I also like that post.
But I was first. It's got me and it's got you and pantskyle like this, so I liked it first.
But on mine it says you and QS likes this, and I'm actually a big fan of this brand new poster, Barney Stinson 1. Personally, I think Quince should step back a little bit because he's throwing accusations out there. Accusations. And, being a bit harsh just because we get a new poster doesn't mean it's DK Alphabet. And that was actually going to be my post of the week as well.
Oh, there you go. Do you want to read it out?
Can I find another one? Because he did another one that I really liked.
Okay.
And it was he did it a little bit later on, and he just goes, "This is by Barney Stinson 1 in the RDT. It would be cool if we could cool Larker. Dr. Peter Larkin." I don't get it. I liked it.
It means absolutely nothing.
I don't. I liked it.
Oh dear.
Barney Stinson 1.
It's a Barney Stinson fest. How'd you go for a post of the week, Keys?
Continuing the Barney Stinson theme.
Whoa!
It's not it. Barney Stinson made a post in the drafting trade mega thread, and he's made a comment. Chris Yaron, may I say any more? Yada yada yada. It's all irrelevant. And Maddie C75 with his little Tyrone Lannister avatar has said, "You may not say any more."
Yeah, that's pretty short and sharp to the point, isn't it?
Yes.
Can I guess?
It didn't work because he just kept going. So he's done fairly well, Barney, for a guy who only signed up today. He's already up to post 42.
Now, by any chance, Keys, he didn't respond to him by saying "dickhead" at all, did he?
He didn't. No.
Wow.
Which is
him.
Because I see no reason why he would. I mean, this is a brand new poster on our board, and I think he has a big future.
He has. Has he asked anyone to play NBA yet?
Mod material. I'm just throwing it out there, but mod material.
Mod material, yep.
So who wins?
Well,
I don't think we can pick an individual post. I would just say Barney Stinson is the winner on the night.
He's
yeah.
Poster of the week.
Poster of the week, Barney Stinson.
Yeah, from poster of the week, from A to Z, he is the poster of the week.
Considering past form, it's probably just likely to be poster of the day, but...
That's about as long
Donkey-
as you'll last, I think.
Donkey Kong Country was a pretty good game, A to Z.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey
Go on.
Kong. Right, guys, I think that pretty much does us for this podcast. So, unless you got anything else, I'm going to call it a day.
Oka and To Blow You Why, stop being bitches and actually come on. Seriously.
Who was that other one?
To Blow You Why, sorry. To Show You Why.
Yeah, that's okay. To blow you.
They're being a bit lazy now.
I think so.
And I hope, let's be honest. Okay, you can't just go out on a date on a Wednesday night. If you're going to be part of this podcast, Wednesday night, you got to keep it free.
Eat the tuna.
Yeah, eat the tuna, bros before hoes.
Or send us pics of the day.
Pigs will get the out.
Zarko Bix.
Dagless pigs.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you later and catch you next week.